I asked him to sign a statement saying that the situation in the country is bad, people are dying of hunger, and nobody is paying any attention to it. And all of us in the university, all the teachers in the university, we went around, signed all the statement and put it in the newspaper. For the first time, newspaper announced in a big way there's a famine in the country and people are dying and we need to get actions moving. And I was feeling terrible. Besides doing the statements and so on, what else can one do? It's useless to go on teaching economics the way it is, that all those beautiful theories, elegant theories, look beautiful inside, but it has nothing to do with the reality outside. But as a human being, as an individual person, I can go out and touch another human being as they live and see if I can make myself useful to another human being. So I went around seeing such opportunities whether exist to make myself useful to another person, even for a day. And I was very lucky. I saw lots of such things happening and I could make myself relevant, make myself useful. And one thing right away came, which is the production of food. Country was not growing enough food to feed the people. And that led me to irrigation and dry season cultivation in the neighborhood university. Why land should remain empty, fallow, while the university is sitting right next to it. If the university symbolized the wisdom, all the accumulated knowledge of the whole world, that's what the university is supposed to be. Why shouldn't that wisdom spill over to the neighbor's field? So the cultivation, and that led to the irrigation, became very successful program. Lots of food being produced in a season where no food was produced before. So I was very happy. But at the same time I saw how people, poor people didn't benefit from it. So landowners, the cultivators, and they benefited from this extra rice, but not the poor. So this became one of the concerns that I couldn't address. And as I go around my daily round, I saw one woman, extremely poor, sitting in front of a little broken down hut, making bamboo stools, beautiful bamboo stools. So I said, let's go and talk to her. So we went there, and she was very shy, she ran away. And finally we got into talking, asking how much money she makes. So she told me that she makes only 2 cents a day. I couldn't believe why she makes 2 cents a day for making that. And I said, why can't you sell it to a higher price? I said, I can't sell it to anybody because I have to sell it to this person. I said, why? Because I borrowed money from him. Why did you borrow? Because I didn't have the bamboo, which goes into these bamboo stools. So in order to buy the bamboo, I need the money. So I had to borrow from the trader, and he lent me the money with the condition that I must sell my bamboo stools to him only, and he decides the price. I have no control over the price. Can you get more price if you sell it outside? Of course I can get more price if I sell outside, but I can't, because I am promise bound to sell it to him at the price that he gives me, and otherwise he will not give me the money, and I can't do anything. So I realized that by borrowing money, she has become a slave labor to that person. Next day I decided to go around and see if there are more people like her. When my list was complete, I had 42 names on that list, and the total money they borrowed was $27. And I was shocked. This I never realized that could happen anywhere. People are suffering not for millions of dollars or billions of dollars, for a few pennies. And there's nothing anybody has done to get rid of this situation. So my first feeling is, why don't I give this money to the people here to repay the money lenders so that they can become free, which is a very simple thing to do. $27, you free 42 people right away. So I did exactly that. Asked them to give me back whenever they have money to pay back. Then something happened. The excitement that created in those people hooked me on. They thought this was a kind of a miracle that happened, because they couldn't think anybody could come up and do such thing. So they looked up to me as if I had done a great thing. I said, all I did is a few dollars worth of money, that's all. Then another thought came to my mind. The thought is a very simple one. If you can make so many people so happy with such a small amount of money, why shouldn't you do more of it? I toyed around several alternatives. Finally, I decided maybe I should link them with the local bank. Bank is the one who should be lending money. This is their business. This is their job. So with enthusiasm, I go to the branch manager or the bank manager who is located in the campus, propose to him that he lend money to the poor people in the village. He fell from the sky. He couldn't believe I even said that. He said, no, it can't be done. It can't be done. I said, why not? Because, he said, poor people are not creditworthy. What does creditworthy mean? Creditworthy means he will not be able to pay back. I said, how do you know? Did you lend them at all? He said, no, I never lent them. How do you know? He said, everybody knows that. Because they are poor, no matter how much money you give, they will eat and the money will be over. They can't pay you back. So I went to higher officials in the city, downtown. I talked to them. They said the same thing. So every time I go and see somebody, they tell me the same thing. And it went on for months. I couldn't find the door to open. Then I learned something from them and I used it. I said, why don't you accept me as a guarantor? I become your guarantor. I sign all your documents. Risk is on me, not on you. You give the money. I thought it's such a straightforward proposal, they will immediately go for it. They didn't. In all, there were more than 6 months. Finally, I was accepted as a guarantor. And it worked. I was very excited that it worked. But the bank manager doesn't change his mind. He said it may work in one village, but if you do it in 2 villages, it will never work. I said, okay, let me do it in 2 villages. So I did it in 2 villages, it worked. He said, well, 1 village and 2 villages are the same thing. Maybe you should do it in 5 villages. So I did it in 5 villages. It worked. But he doesn't change his mind. After I have done this several rounds, and I realized that if I do the whole world, he's not going to change his mind. Maybe I should forget about him. So I thought maybe I should have a separate bank doing exactly what I'm doing. And that idea started haunting me. That why don't I have a bank for the poor people? I was invited to a conference in Dhaka in 1978. And one banker challenged me in the conference, if you're so sure it can be done, why don't you do it over a whole district, not just few villages around the university campus? In the university campus, you have some advantage. Your professors, your teachers are making sure that everybody pays back. But I immediately said, of course I'll do it. If you promise that after I do it over a district successfully, you will take it up and do it nationwide. They agreed, but they chose the district Tangail. I didn't know anything about Tangail. I never visited Tangail in my life. And then Tangail, I found out after I arrived in Tangail in 1979, there's a whole armed guerrillas working within Tangail. This is the remnants coming from the radical movements from the liberation war, going into the villages and killing village leaders and bringing radical communism and so on. That's what they believed in. But gradually what I started seeing, they were fighting among themselves. And some of them wanted to find jobs with us. So we recruited many of these, and only condition we put, you are welcome to come and work with us, but you must leave the guns. You cannot bring your rifles and ammunitions with you. So young people left that and started joining us. So Tangail becoming more and more now a reasonable place to work. And it is working beautifully. And we are very happy. But the bankers were not changing their minds. So they after 2 years, they raised this question. But Tangail is a small district. Maybe your presence made all the difference. Then I said, if my presence made all the difference, then why don't we take remote districts, far away from Tangail, Reluctantly they agreed, and it worked too. But I see no way banks are going to support that. This is the time then I raised the question, maybe I should become a separate bank.